Welcome back to the Live Your Best Life channel. I am Zama, your resident Live Your Best Lifeologist. So today we're going to speak about one of the things that social media has ruined, specifically Twitter. So Twitter has this interesting way of ruining words and phrases by overuse and lack of understanding. Cancelled is ruined. It's now called cancel culture for some reason. Nuance? Torn to shreds. Normalize. Let's normalize never using it again. Yeah. But the word that gets thrown around, I feel a little bit too cavalierly, too easily, is gaslighting. Today is going to be the start of a larger gaslighting series that I want to do because gaslighting is so widespread and pervasive from, larger society to interpersonal relationships. Today, however, I'm going to start in the macro, in the larger societal, purview. I feel like I'm just throwing words out. Today, I'm going to start basically with breaking down gaslighting. Gaslighting is psychological abuse, and people on social media who apparently can't access Google for some reason are equating it with lying. And to be very fair, it is lying, but it is lying with nefarious and complicated intentions. Gaslighting is described as a type of psychological manipulation where a person sows seeds of doubt in another person or a group of people, making them question their own memory, perception, judgment, and overall reality. Gaslighting is a tool of psychological manipulation. It's all the ways a person can make you question what you saw, heard, thought, or believed, when you saw, heard, thought, and believed those things. It's kind of the basis of tell a lie long enough and it'll become the truth, but the more accurate version is tell another person your lie long enough and eventually it'll become their truth. The term gaslight originated from a play of the same name written by British playwright Patrick Hamilton. It's about a man who manipulates his wife into thinking that she's losing her mind in order for him to keep a deep, dark secret quiet. There are two movie adaptations of the play, one done in 1940 by the Brits, the one that I've watched, and another one in 1944 done by MGM. I have not seen that one because we do not recognize American remakes in this house. I'm kidding. Mostly. The movie follows a newlywed couple, Paul and Bella, as they move into a house that has previously been deserted for 20 years after a gruesome murder. Paul and Bella seem like a lovely young-ish couple until we see Paul start to accuse Bella of taking paintings off the wall and hiding them behind other cabinets, as well as, stealing his pocket watch or losing a brooch that he gave her as a wedding present. He does all this to essentially try and drive her insane, to try and convince her that she has no actual grasp of her own reality, when she knows she did not do these things that he's accusing her of. The term gaslight specifically comes from a scene in the play and the movies where Bella banished to her room because she has her own room and her husband treats her like a child. Basically, Bella's in her room and she's laying on the bed and she sees the gaslight turning up and down as if someone is manipulating it. But that's impossible because the only way that happens is if another light is being turned on in the room above them. Now, this room has been deserted for 20 years and they don't go up there because, deep dark secrets. Bella essentially sees the gaslight flickering on its own, which is very unusual. And she also hears footsteps on the roof when no one's supposed to be in that part of the house because it's been abandoned since the murder 20 years ago. So basically it was all him trying to make her look crazy so he can protect whatever secret, stupid treasure he was trying to find. I don't know. You guys can watch the movie yourselves and see. On a global scale, we encounter gaslighting a lot in politics, and the reason that I'm starting on such a huge scale is so that we can start to understand all the ways in which gaslighting manifests in the world. starting with our politicians and how they manage to gaslight their people. Politicians use gaslighting to sow doubt in the populations of entire countries and even the world. And not just about anything. Well, they will gaslight you about anything, but importantly about things related to our greatest good. You know, politicians like... Yes, sir, the narcissist in chief. A gaslighting extraordinaire if we're ever going to give him credit for anything. I wanted to highlight Ostentatious Orange because I believe that we've all come into contact with one of his lies, or 1,000. Who's counting? Some people are counting. Wow. Gaslighting is a favorite tool of narcissists who want to shift the world into their version of reality. I believe that it is important for us as a global collective to become more conscious and understanding of what gaslighting is and how it manifests so that we can spot it immediately and, I don't know that we're being taken for a ride at least. Because it's a classic maneuver of politicians to avoid accountability and then blame the people for them not doing their own jobs. Politicians essentially use it to manipulate the masses to disregard their own well-being and needs. Atomic Apricot is the most notable example because, well, he is the most powerful man in the world.
Lord Jesus is a fire.
And on that note, gaslighting is a favorite tool of fascists and authoritarians, of which, there are many these days, considering the world is now backsliding into fascism. Like any citizen of any country on this planet, I have a love-hate relationship with my country. As in, I love the people and I hate the government. Like, we really live in a world where it's so niche to have a functioning government. Who needs working and solid infrastructure and state resources that actually serve the people? Or, who needs a government that wants to govern? That is so passé, so last century. Ugh. Them? Public servants? Serve the public? It's inconceivable. These days, having a functioning country doesn't matter. No. The end thing is having a leader with a leader with edge, a leader that's gonna make headlines. For instance, the United Kingdom has a leader that doesn't know what a comb is. And Brazil has a leader that doesn't know what a mosque is. And America? Ooh. Well, that punchline just lands itself now, doesn't it? But South Africa, my country, also has a president with a thing. You see, South Africa has the most shocked president in the world. I know, shocking, right? Every day, just shocked as a newborn baby. Let me tell you who he's like. So, in 50 First Dates, how Drew Barrymore wakes up every day with amnesia and also wakes up every day shocked that she's dating Adam Sandler, which, girl, us too. Anyway, our president is kind of like that. It's like he wakes up every day with amnesia and his aides have to remind him that he's president of an entire country and that country's in shambles. I actually imagine it would go a little bit something like this.
Mr. President.
Who? Me?
Yes, sir, you are the president.
Oh, which country?
South Africa, sir. Sir, are you okay?
Yeah. What is it?
Sir, it's the middle of winter, and load shedding is taking place twice a day.
Load shedding? What's load shedding?
Blackouts, sir, to save energy for the grid.
Load shedding? In winter? My people without power? I know that country.
Yes, sir, unfortunately it is. And on top of that, Metro Rail, which transports millions of South Africans, is now not working, leaving thousands of commuters stranded.
Commuters? Stranded? In my country? I know, this is shocking news.
Yes, sir. And on top of that, we are in the middle of a COVID pandemic, and government officials are looting money meant to protect South Africans from this global pandemic.
Looting in my government during a pandemic? No! This shocks me to my soul!
So if you don't...
Listen, Cyril Ramaphosa is not Mango Mussolini, but the bar for politicians right now is not even underground, it's probably somewhere near the equator. It essentially doesn't exist anymore. Cyril's type of gaslighting is not overt like 50 Shades of Orange. It's harder to catch because it's clouded in this naive ignorance that only men with immense power get to display while in power, while also being mixed with this fake concern for how bad things have gotten, when Cyril has been the deputy president for what, the last 10 years? Basically, he was the deputy president of the last administration, which was a good 10 years. And that administration looted 1 trillion rand from the economy. Jeez, you can only wonder how shocked he'll be when he realizes more money is being looted under his administration. On top of everything going wrong in South Africa, it is the rape capital of the world, a haven for gender-based violence and its perpetrators. Whether it's an entire president being obtuse to what's going on in his own country, or a police force that will ask you time and time again, what did you do wrong when trying to report domestic or sexual violence? Gaslighting has reached systemic levels, and I want to talk about it because I don't believe anyone is immune in South Africa or anywhere, to be honest. But because South Africa is the land of possibilities, it's not just Cyril gaslighting the public. We have the Democratic Alliance, which is the main opposition to the African National Congress, of which Cyril Ramaphosa is president. The DA. There's just not enough time. So we'll move on to the FF, which is the Economic Freedom Fighters, led by one Julius Malema and his right-hand PhD, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Tshegofatso Pule is one of the many victims of gender-based violence in this country. Her life was taken while she was 8 months pregnant. I will link her story in the description. I don't feel comfortable mentioning it here because it is a very triggering situation to rehash. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, right-hand man to Julius Malema, attended Tshegofatso's funeral and took up space. Took up space where her family could have been, took up space where other black, female, and feminists and womanists could speak to the literal violence that women in South Africa have to deal with every single day. Ndlozi, in that moment, decided that it was a man's voice that needed to be heard. And this is what he said.
These people who are killing our sisters are cowards. Only a coward beats a woman. Only a coward kills a woman. Only a coward rapes a woman. It must be said in no equivocal terms. These are cowards. They are not men. They are not fathers. They are not uncles, but they are cowards.
Forgive me if I'm confused, but call him what you want. It was a man that violated and ended her life. You can call them cowards, you can say they're not men, but you saying this does not rob them of their gender or their identity. So 3 months later, Ndlozi literally revealed himself to be part of the problem. Take, for instance, a tweet that he sent out after his party members physically harassed a journalist simply trying to do her job, covering a demonstration outside a Clicks. Clicks is that company that posted that racist Tresemme ad about, black hair. I'll just post it so you can essentially see the tomfoolery for yourself. Now, EFF has been very vocal about this, even going as far as demanding that all Clicks branches across the country are shut down. And obviously this demonstration was happening at one of them. I'm mentioning this because, let me read the tweet out loud. So the tweet is quoting a news bulletin of the FF fighters harassing this journalist.
EFF members have harassed an ENCA journalist again. Our reporter Nobesuthu Hejana was manhandled earlier today by EFF members outside the Clicks in Plumstead, that's in Cape Town. This comes after EFF leadership warned members against harassing journalists. Just yesterday, our ENCA crew was pushed and chased away by EFF members at another Clicks, also with Nobesuthu in Cape Town.
Ndlozi says, but they're telling her that she can be here but not allowed to talk to EFF members. It means she was trying to interview them. I really do not see harassment here. Merely touching her is not harassment. The touch has to be violent, invasive, or harmful to become harassment. Now, let's unpack all of that. This is a man who just 3 months ago said this.
You can fight this struggle. You can confront this enemy. But COVID-19 is an invisible enemy. But femicide, the boys and the men that are killing us are not invisible. Yeah. You can fight this struggle. Women of South Africa, you have to come together.
We can even hear in the news report that the anchor says that the leadership of the EFF encouraged their people not to harm women in any way. But touching a woman, essentially pushing her, intimidating her out of a space, that's not harassment, no. Just to be clear, touching someone, and men love to do this, when they pass you by and they touch the small of your back like it's supposed to be some romantic gesture. If you touch someone without their expressed consent for you to do so, that is harassment. Gaslighting sits at the foundation of misogyny and literally all the other bigotries. Like, pick one. Because it is the most effective way to impose your own worldview on someone else. Especially when the people doing the imposing are people in positions of power. A magician can tell you you are getting sleepy for like up to a minute before you catch the jig and you just walk away. But if a magician is telling you every day you are getting sleepy on your commute to work or school, in discussions, on social media, everywhere you are, then gradually it's gonna get harder to, stay woke. I don't want this video to go too long because it is only the introduction of this gaslighting series, and there's gonna be a bunch of videos because Hey guys, so my camera died while I was filming, so luckily I was at the end of the video, so I'm just kind of gonna close it out from here. I believe that personal responsibility over one's mental health is very important. But as a society, as a people, I feel like we have to acknowledge the ways in which our politicians often gaslight us in order to rob us of the things that we deserve as a people and as a society. Politicians have actual tangible influence over our daily lives, over how they look, and over the quality of that life. The quality of our lives and our environments affect our mental health. Black women and women of color shouldn't have to live in a country where we live every day in fear and then have to watch politicians literally thoughts and prayers their way through a gender-based violence crisis. But hey, as long as Tresemme won't be on shelves for 10 days, then I guess something was done. That's the end of this video. My makeup is like half gone, but I don't care. I don't want to call it fun, but it was invigorating talking about this topic. These are the kind of topics that I'm also really passionate about, just in terms of realizing the ways in which the world makes it harder to live your best life. Because, as I always say, you deserve to live your best life and better politicians. Thank you so much for watching this far. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel so you can get more across the board, live your best life entertainment. And hey, click the bell because, who knows, I drop like Beyonce. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you're well. I hope the world... I can't even hope anything for the world. I just hope that you guys are okay and that you're looking after you. I love you guys. Peace.